we're live.
I actually feel like we did good that time.
Um, Good. I have so many things. First of all,
We're getting
do
right
you
to
want to ask
it.
me why? Do you want to ask me why I'm in a different room right now?
Oh, I didn't even realize we were in a different room until you just pointed
It's
that
the
out.
ongoing saga with my stupid internet provider.
No. What happened?
Yes.
I like how
Okay,
it's
so
still
this guy.
millennial gray, though.
I'm just one room out, and actually, I meant to close the door, and I ran back into that room to get my AirPods, and then the door's still open. But so they moved my dad's monitor for him to watch the cameras
Your dad.
into, yeah, sorry,
Our
into the
papa.
into our office, at his desk, and like this man, our father, our papa, Daddy-O, cannot hear a gosh darn thing to save his life, right? Just in general. And he was complaining about the noise of this I don't even know, this motor that's running
That's how
in
I
our
didn't even know
office.
it's loud.
Yesterday he took his hearing aids out because he was like, I just can't. He was sitting at his computer and this monitor's right next to it,
Can you
and he's
imagine
like,
having that
it's
kind of power to be like, you know what? I've heard enough.
or enough taking them out. It's the positive of losing your hearing for sure. But
Sometimes when I have headaches, I'll take my glasses off and I'll be like, I've seen enough.
I've seen enough. I totally understand that. But I just want to say mother effer, but I can't. I don't want to make you have to cut everything out. But this guy shows up. It's like fine. It's all fine, but like it just makes you want to shake someone. He like so we're like so he came and he set this thing up and like we still have horrible internet at home and he's like I don't know why I checked everything looks good on my end and we're like okay that's cool for you still no internet um and
You'd
so
think
then
you're
we're
like
like yeah
living in
this
a third world country, sister friend.
yeah and this modem thing is just like so loud. This hard drive thing it's on is so loud. And he was like, it kind of reminds me of the old DTN screens, because they had like a little
Yeah.
bit of a rumble to them. And JD walks in and he was like, what's so loud in here? Like literally in front of me. He
Good.
couldn't have set it up more perfectly for
Good.
us to be like, see? And then so I was out my $580 for this cord thing. I tried to return it. This company was like, well, yeah, we're not going to respond since it was like past the Amazon window. And he's like, I'll strike up a deal with you. I'll take that piece of equipment and I'll give you the piece of equipment you have in here. I don't know the price of any of these things, but he did
Honestly,
offer
I
the
would do
fact that,
that. I'd be like, sure, get it out of my life.
yeah, well, no, I did. And he's like, honestly, like the equipment I did put in is cheaper than the thing I'm taking you. So I do win in this situation, which are like, of course you do.
Interesting
Of
for
course
him to
you,
admit.
but at least you're being so transparent with me on that. Then that actually made me feel like he's a more of an ethical person to tell me that. But then, like, I don't know. It was so much. But anyway, so right now we have 2 days. We're gonna test this modem thing. Oh, because it hasn't been working either,
Oh,
and
great.
it hasn't been saving our data of like the backup cameras or whatever. And so he's going to come back in 2 days. And if the DVR thing's still working, I don't know any of these terms for any of the things that he's set up because it's like 90s tech. And I don't know about 90s technology. And he's
Wasn't
going to come
alive.
back. And then if it's working, he's just going to take the fan out of this thing. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. It was installed with a fan, but we're just going to take the fan
That
out.
sounds dangerous. I mean, I'm no IT department, but I personally would never remove a fan
Yeah.
from an internet
So
provider.
that's why I had to move out here because I know my microphone would pick up on the rumbling in the background because it's that loud.
Wow.
You could probably hear it, honestly, maybe.
Well, we both have new backgrounds because I don't have a desk anymore, so I'm on my couch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a
Okay.
coffee table, and so then I'll use my coffee table as a one of those fancy high tech coffee tables where like it kind of comes up to you a little bit, and so I'm gonna use it as a desk.
Wait, should we pause this? You have like a bra just chilling on a hanger back there. Do you want to get that out of the image or no?
Nah, I'll block it with my body. There's
Perfect.
there's
Oh,
literally no good
okay.
angle. Here's Bean, and here's Bean's tent.
Um,
No,
Beanie tent.
there's no good angle. When I was facing this way, which you can see my Taylor Swift wall, those are all
Yes.
song
Ooh.
lyrics. I was backlit, which isn't ideal, and now you can see, I don't know, probably other incriminating evidence. I have no idea.
Incriminating evidence. The fact that you have bras, that's
I know.
crazy.
I've
I'm gonna tell the
honestly,
police.
if that's the worst thing that gets leaked to me on the internet, I consider that a win. Sister friend,
Is
the allergies.
Tanner, here, wait, just a second. Tanner's calling me.
Does he know we're
Hello?
recording?
Yeah, is it okay. Apparently we're having an issue with Edison. I have to go inside.
Okay. Bye.
We're live for the second time. Sorry for that intermission.
Insert new
Edison
background.
Edison was attacked.
That's so good because
Attacked.
I immediately was like, oh no, Freb passed away.
I know, same. And then I came inside and it was like, oh, only a bloody ear. Um,
Frebby boy, I'm sorry you were
yeah.
attacked.
Um, Apparently this time, normally like Paul attacks Fred, but this time apparently Fred was also making noises. But like he has to stand up for himself at some point.
I just feel
Um,
like you can't blame the blind dying cat. Like
True, you can't.
Fred could do nothing wrong. Isn't
Literally.
it? Okay, so his name's Edison. Why did we ever start
Yes.
calling him Fred? Oh, I think we called him
You,
Edison and then Fredison. And then
yeah, I used to call
Fred?
him Fredison. Well, it was just so funny because like whenever I take him anywhere and they're like, "Oh, Edison is his nickname Eddie," I'm like, literally never once have I called him that.
No,
So
we
I've
call
never.
him Freb.
Would it be Freb?
I
Freb.
know. It's so
Uh,
funny. But he is Freb, and I call him Freb, and Mom does not call him Freb.
no,
And
she
so,
calls him Fred.
and so she'll be like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Zoe's cat." And she'll be like, "Edison."
Yes,
And I'm like, "Wait,
Freb.
you mean Freb? His name's Freb." I mean, that's like Bean. Her name is Martini. That's her God-given Christian name that she was baptized with. But I call her everything but. I call her Tortellini. I call her Bean a lot.
Beanie,
Bean,
beanie baby. The
Beanie,
bean.
Baby, Chicken.
Uh,
Basically anything that
okay,
comes to my mind.
so the thing that I was going to confront you about on this podcast next before we were brutally interrupted, I got new glasses, and is that why you got new
I
glasses?
did literally that night. I was like, you know what I can do? I can also get new glasses. So I got 2 new pairs. These are my academic glasses. I'll get you the other glasses
Okay.
because, like, what else do we have to talk about?
No,
One
those are
moment,
really cute.
please.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have so much to talk to you about.
So Mom complains that I have too many glasses, but I say I work at a museum and like museum people wear glasses, like it's part of my uniform. Like
Yeah.
it's like we're supposed to have options. Anyway, so these are like my academic glasses that I wear to tell everyone I have a master's degree. And then this
Yeah.
is like inner city art teacher vibes. And these are just like, these are just like when I have a boring outfit on and I'm like, you know what would make this outfit more interesting? Ginormous glasses. So,
Honestly, you can pull those off. I could with like I'm more fair colored and like if I was wearing those, I wouldn't be able to pull those off, but
like I
you
realize I
can pull
look
them off.
insane, but also like I live in New York City and everyone here looks insane. So
You look like
honestly,
Edna Mode.
I know. So if I walked out with these glasses on right now, like no one would say a gosh darn thing. But
Yeah,
I know
I
if I
hear
sent a
you.
picture of them to Kimber, she'd be like, "You look like a clown."
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, that's interesting because I am very much under the ilk of you have one pair of glasses and that's who you are. You
No,
don't
this
just,
tray
that's like changing your hair color every
on
day.
glasses, and I do that. Well, I don't change my hair color every day, but I do change my hair color. Um, I just think glasses are so fun and a great accessory, and I work in a place where everyone has a lot of really cute glasses, and I feel like I have to be competitive in that sense. So
Interesting. Yeah. I know, because I was thinking, mine was strictly from a financial standpoint. I was like, well, if these glasses cost me $100 and my contacts cost me $600 a year, why, if I wear glasses on half the days, I can save $300 a year,
also these glasses were
which
not $100. My glasses were way less than that.
interesting because
Like
I went to the sales section.
these ones were like $30, and these ones
Oh,
were like
wow.
$20.
Oh, interesting. See, it's like the lens part that's expensive. Do you have like straightforward good eyes?
No, I'm -3 in both eyes.
But do
Um,
you have a astigmatism?
I do not have astigmatism, and I don't pay for any. There's like, you
The
can,
up, yeah,
yeah, you can
the
like upgrade your
red, yeah.
lenses. You can
I
like,
said red light, blue
yeah,
light.
you can get blue light. You can also get like a thing that makes them like not reflective. You can also
Yeah.
yeah, there's like all sorts of things you can pay for, and I don't do that. Um,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I have like
The
the
reflective
cheapest
at night.
version.
Yeah. My last pair of glasses I didn't get. I got the cheapo stuff, and I felt a drastic change, just like at nighttime driving, which obviously you don't deal with.
Yeah, no, I don't drive.
Um,
I'm
but
also
yeah,
don't leave my house at night.
I have a astigmatism thingy or whatever, so I
I
think that might.
definitely
I don't know.
maybe should have done blue light because I do stare at a screen like
See,
all
but
day, every
I
day.
saw.
But I don't know if I
Listen, this
believe
is the
in blue
thing.
light. Like
No, I've seen
I don't believe in.
probably 90 TikToks that are like talking about how like blue light's so bad for you. And then I saw one where like the guy's like, I'm an eye doctor. This isn't real. This is all a marketing gimmick. And I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to believe this one person.
I know. It's not that I don't believe it. It's just I don't know. I believe that looking at a screen all day long is not good for your eyes. 100%. But
I think
like
what's gonna be worse for my
I
eyes
don't
in the
know if like
long run.
filtering out the blue light is like gonna save my eyes in the long run.
Yeah, because I think like having like the little selfie light thing is does more damage for my eyes in a moment than staring at a screen for 6 hours. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also don't stare at a screen for 6 hours, but
I'm no eye doctor, but I feel fine.
I know nothing, and my eyes are continuing to get worse. But
What I have noticed
listen to
about
me,
these, I think they gave me a headache. I got them literally yesterday, which
because your microphone, you have to keep it in a steady range because you're like
I know.
the
Well, if I
sound.
took it off the
I
stand.
yeah, it is fine, and I love that for you. Just like keep it at a level.
Sorry, this is something I have to edit out later. You can just make me less quiet on your computer.
Oh, okay.
Also, when last time you were like, Kenzie, you're yelling. I literally wasn't yelling. It sounded the exact same. So
Huh?
I
It's
think
probably why.
you have sensitive ears.
Oh, I know. That's like a real thing that like people don't like about me is like my like if we're listening to anything and like someone has like the slightest level of like bass in their car, I'm like, I'm sorry, I have a headache. I can't do this.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a you
but,
problem, not a me problem.
but like Tanner will
Anyways,
always be playing music in the car. I'm like, you have to turn it down. My little ears are gonna pop.
I have a funny story. So do you do informed delivery for USPS? It's like where you get to
I
see what packages are coming the day.
Oh
They,
no, but I know that mom does that.
yeah, it's a very mom coded thing to do.
Just because I still have things that go to her house.
Anyways, so I knew my glasses were arriving, so I got informed delivery, so I knew exactly what time they would be in my mailbox, and it said they would be there at 4:25. So I was working from home, and it was like 4:15, and I was like, maybe the mail came early. So I trotted. I'm on the first floor. Then the mailboxes are like right here, like they're like very close to my door, and
You
so
trotted.
I trotted out. I was in my
You didn't
pajamas.
gallop.
No, I was
Okay.
in this exact outfit with my slippers on, and I looked insane
Ew.
because I was working from home, and I was looking in the mailbox. Hadn't come at that exact moment. The mailman arrived, and there's nothing more embarrassing than anticipating the mailman. And he knew I was anticipating him, and he could see I scurried like a little rat back to my apartment because I wasn't gonna just like stand there and be like, "Can I have my package, please?" And he knew I was apartment one because he saw me scurry into my apartment.
Hmm.
It's just like, first of all, the mailman. hysterical. Like that a man in a costume comes to your house every day. Like,
Oh, my man in my costume, like we have a rapport. He's really cool. He'll get out
um,
and talk to us because it's confusing here because like just we have so much wrong mail and mail that
yeah.
should go to one address and goes to another address.
Anyways, it was just like simply so humiliating that the mailman had to watch me anticipating him. And then when he left, it was 4:25 on the dot, and it was exactly when it said it was going to
Really
be there. And I was like, well, this is so embarrassing, but I was so excited for my glasses.
interesting. Does your mail come at the same time every day?
No, because the day before it came at noon, but my
Okay,
informed delivery told me it was going to come at noon. I'm like,
interesting.
how are they so accurate?
Yeah, I wonder if they have like routes and they're like sometimes we do it this way and sometimes we do it the
Yeah, I
opposite.
don't know, but it was very. I mean, I appreciate it being on time, but
Yeah.
it was just embarrassing. Nothing like the
Um,
mailman knowing you're waiting for him.
yeah, yeah. So I want to give at some point a farming update,
Oh, of
but
course, you're in the
first
fields.
But first, I need to get your opinion on something. So I was driving today on a little parts run, and it was like 2 hours, and I was just like in the truck alone with my thoughts. And
Hmm.
there was a delivery truck, and it was Davis Piano Delivery. And I just need to know some stats on pianos. I feel like back in the
If you're
day,
talking about the
everyone
piano
had
at
a
my mom and dad's
piano.
house, I have dibs on it.
You can have that.
I,
I
everyone knows I'm going to have it.
As
So,
long as I can get the stained glass artwork that's next to it.
and
It's
you were saying
mine.
in the
It's mine.
Mustang, and I was like, we don't have a Mustang.
Why would I say the
I
Mustang?
don't know. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
The stained
The
glass.
secret Mustang we keep in the garage.
No, but I will be taking the Corvette.
I know. That's fair.
I told mom and dad when I was like I was trying to buy a crappy truck,
Zoe, I just got your
and
disc is
I was like,
almost full.
no,
Okay, we have like 10 minutes before everything sucks.
Jesus Christ.
The problem is I don't have another USB-C to plug my external hard drive in because I have my mic in one and the charger in the other one.
I don't know what that means, but okay. Um,
Let me
do
quickly
do we need to
talk.
do we need to
Keep
clean?
talking, and I'm going to delete some stuff.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll give the farming update now.
Okay.
So we finally got in the fields on Monday morning. Sunday afternoon we could have maybe gone. It was like questionable. I saw two neighbors running, but Dad was like, "You really don't want to run," and I was like trying to be peer pressured into running, but he was like, "You need to slow down. You need to chill out," and so I chilled out. Monday morning we got started bright and early. JD is was out for undisclosed reasons on Monday and Tuesday. We're gonna leave an error of like what could have happened. Was he in jail?
He
Was it
was
a correct?
auditioning for American Idol.
He was in the musical. No, I'm not going to tell JD's business, but he was out for Monday and Tuesday,
He was
and
interviewing
well,
for
yeah,
another farmer.
I would die.
He's like, this is a sinking ship. I'm getting out
Yeah,
of here.
he's like, we're going into planting season without a tractor. Maybe I should
He's like,
leave
there's got to
this.
be another farmer in this town I can work for.
Yeah. Our tractor that went down, it arrived on Friday afternoon. Like literally could not have timed that any better. But so it was me and George. George is the 86-year-old who helps sometimes, and we went to working ground. And George got here at like noon. I worked from 7 a.m. until 3 a.m. the next day. I slept for 3.5 hours, and then I worked till we got rained out at 6:45 the next day. So I worked 32 out of 36 hours. That was
That's a
our only
lot.
little window that we had for tillage. Tomorrow we're hoping to run again. It's been like really cold and hasn't rained again, but we didn't have any like drying conditions. So we're gonna hit it again tomorrow. Hopefully, you're gonna plant some beans on Saturday. But I got 75% of my first pass of corn ground worked. So we made a little bit
Slay.
of progress, folks. That's the update. We broke so many things. No, just two minor things. I had a tire that was out. I broke a little chain, and then we broke a harrow. And when I say we broke, it wasn't me. But I'm not about calling other people out for what they did, but also it was
Maybe
only two
JD
people that
is looking for other jobs.
no, me breaking things keeps JD having job security. The more things I break, the more his job is secure. Um, but so we got some work done.
What were you
I'm
going to say about
anxious.
pianos?
Oh yes. Oh
Sorry, what are
yes.
you anxious about?
So there was this Davis piano deliveries,
Hmm.
and that just feels like such a niche job. And I like growing up, I just thought everyone had a piano in their home just because we had a piano. Piano. Our grandparents that lived in this house had a piano, and
Our
grandma,
cousins.
our cousins, everyone we knew had a piano. And I want to know, is that normal? Did everyone back in the day have a piano? Was that a thing, or was that just an us thing?
I think it's an us
And our
thing.
piano
Kimber didn't
sales
have a
going
piano.
down.
Kimber did not have a piano. She's my only
But
friend
we're
for
also
reference.
not we're not musically inclined people. Like we're not singers, but like so
No,
I
but
guess if
we
you
were
can't
forced
sing, then
to
you
all take piano
have a piano.
lessons. I think we were
Yeah.
we were more musically inclined, I think, than the
Have
average.
we talked about our piano lessons traumas on here yet?
We don't have the time.
I don't think it's on podcast.
The only thing I remember really
How did piano? Wait, no,
is the
we
piano
interview
teacher
all the
saying,
people.
"Kenzie, I think you're dyslexic," and I was like, "I don't know what that means, but."
Which is so funny because the more that I dive into dyslexia, I'm like, I think maybe I could also have that.
um Yeah, I
But
don't
anyway,
know. I do think
yeah,
I think it's a mix of people back then, like our parents' generation.
yeah, it's like
Um
you all stood
and
around playing the piano.
and
I don't
also
know.
just like I don't think a lot of people in New York have pianos because like where would we put a piano?
Where would
And
you put it?
like
Yeah.
if you have a walk up, you're not bringing that piano up the stairs.
Yeah, we had a keyboard in college, but that was just because my roommate was in the like
The band.
her church band thing, and so she would need to like practice, and so she got herself a little keyboard situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't know. And I'm assuming this piano mover like does other things, but like his specialty is piano moving because like I'm just assuming there aren't enough pianos to be moved on a daily basis.
I actually bet there are a decent amount between all of the churches, schools,
You
other
think?
random institutions. Like
But like
every nursing
you'd
home
have to
has a piano. Every
yeah.
school probably has between 2 to 3 pianos.
Huh.
Every middle to upper class house in rural Ohio has a piano. I don't know. I really don't know. That's a great question for someone that's not me.
I should have pulled that man over and asked some hard. I actually wrote down his website because I was like,
You're
I
like, sir, I
just
have a question.
like I would just think like locally there probably aren't too many pianos to be moving, so he's probably like driving all over the
But
state,
just think, like
you know.
every time someone dies, they have a piano. They gotta move.
I remember because the
Every time a
piano that was in
baby's
this
born,
house, it was in
that's
the
right.
basement. We had to take walls off of the basement. Like there was some
Hmm.
like apparently there you can take because the
Was that
stairs are
your
like in a
choice
corner.
to get rid of the piano?
Um,
It was kind of
I
creepy down there.
yeah, and it was like I don't know what happened. Wait, no, I think we still have the piano. I think we just shoved it into a back room. I think we tried to get rid of it, and then I think we might have shoved it into a back room
Pianos are so
and
interesting because, like, the piano at our parents' house, I'm neutral about it. I mean, I have like past trauma there, but like, I look at it neutral. You move a piano into a scary basement, it's 100% haunted and it plays music at night. Like,
oh, that is
pianos
100% this
it's
piano.
the
It's
same thing
so
with like
creepy, and because it's so out of
kids
tune.
nursery rhymes during the day at normal speed they're fine, slow them down at night, terrifying. That's how I feel about pianos.
Yeah, yeah. Davis Piano Rentals or moving. Look them up.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't thought about pianos in a long time. um I'm grateful for taking piano as a kid. I think like learning to read sheet music is actually really good for your brain, and I can still read sheet music to this day. It's a skill I appreciate that I have.
That's interesting. I can't. Like I understand the gist of it and I know like I would have to be reacclimated to like okay, and this note's a C. Like I understand,
Yeah.
like someone would have to baseline be like, these are the notes, and then it would come back to me quickly. But like, if you gave me a piece of sheet music right now, I can't guarantee
I
that
see.
I would
I
know what's
wonder
going
why our
on.
brains are different because I didn't do band much longer than you did.
Oh,
So,
it's just that I'm incredibly dumb.
uh, yeah.
I can't
See, I
retain
didn't take that
anything.
into account when I was considering
Yeah.
our abilities. I'm just
No,
kidding.
no, no, no. No. The thing about me is like I am capable of doing things, but I won't remember it. Like
Yeah.
I have asked the co-op guy who's been spraying our urea and AMS on our crops
Urea.
literally 3 times. I've called this man. I hate calling people. I've called this man 3 times to confirm what exactly is getting put on. And now one of those times when he called me back, I was driving the semi down a highway and I wasn't going to write it down. But like one would think, like this is an important piece of information. I'm gonna lock it into my brain what this thing is. And I kept repeating it over and over again as I was driving. Urea with AMS, urea with AMS. And then I get to
Sounds like an STI.
I get to I get
I
to
think because it
I
sounds
get to
like
where I was
gonorrhea.
going and I forgot about it and then I didn't write it down and then I had to call again to be like,
Mm.
you're gonna have to tell me that one
You
more
know,
time. Like it's just so embarrassing.
I
Like,
completed
hey,
my
I can't remember
biggest
things.
work feat this past week. Um, I work in special events, and I
Yeah. Whatever dress you were wearing, you should wear that to my wedding.
the pink
Like the
one,
rehearsal or like do an outfit change. It was so cute. I liked it so
the
much.
floofy pink one with
Yeah.
tulle. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would, except for I have 7 dresses lined up for your wedding, so I simply can't fit one more in. Um, so we do these really big events with like 1,200, 1,500 people. They go off without a hitch. I had to face the largest uphill battle I have yet to climb on Wednesday. I
Okay.
I was tasked with ordering 30 pizzas. Okay?
Oh my God.
I similarly hate talking on the phone. Like I'm very comfortable with email and texting and like communicating in person, but something about picking up the phone and calling someone, terrifying.
It's the worst.
I had to call my pizza man and I was like, "Can you do 30 pizzas?" And he
What was
did
the
it and it was
turnaround time?
amazing. I gave him 3 days notice
Okay. It
and
wasn't like a hey, the
no.
staff's behind. We need pizzas right now.
No,
Okay.
I gave him 3 days notice and we needed him at noon. The pizza shop is next to my new apartment, so that's how I knew to
Mhm.
call this guy. His name's Ricky. Love him. La Mia Pizza. Um, not that close to my apartment. You can't come and kill me. Um, but I walked to work at 8 a.m. that morning and I saw him working on the pizzas. But anyways, just calling and asking for 30 pizzas and then having it delivered and then setting up 30 pizzas was the hardest and most anxiety-inducing task I've ever been given at work. And it went off without a hitch. So,
I can still remember when I was
so
an
sorry.
FFA officer and we had our officer retreat, and Mr. Hoffman said, we need to order pizzas. We'll have the Sentinel do it. And that was me. And I ordered these pizzas. And when I tell you, I got off the phone and Mr. Hoffman, and everyone was watching me. Like the whole officer team was like in a circle. And it was like, this is the last order of business before we like broke and like went and did our own thing for a little bit.
That's not
So
the audience.
everyone was sitting around watching me struggle to order. It was just 2 pizzas. It was just 2 pizzas. And I get off the phone and Mr. Hoffman goes, okay, so what a person would normally do when they got to order pizza, you're gonna say, okay, I'd like to order 2 pizzas with different toppings. And, it's like then you say what
Yeah.
you want. And like keep walking through the steps because like I don't know what I did, but it
You
wasn't
blacked
that.
out and you're
And
like, pizza, 2, pepperoni, mushroom, 20 minutes. So
oh, no, I
I
couldn't
was like,
it was
is
out.
this a war?
No,
Criminal calling me?
no, it was probably like the guy said to me, he's like, "Hello, pizzas," and I was like, "Hi, I need help. I
You're like,
we
hi,
need
how's
food."
your day?
You know those round things that have like the crust and like the warm and like the cheese. So I'm gonna need some of those. And I, and like, and then I do remember being like, so do you have like different sizes? Because like I think like he had just asked me like, "Hey, get pizzas for everyone."
Yeah.
like like I didn't plan this in advance.
Yeah, clearly didn't do
like,
enough
you know,
research.
were you not recording before?
Note to self, I started recording. No, when your storage gets full, it stops the recording. So just keep yours
Is
going as business as usual. And then I'm gonna cut
okay.
out all that boring stuff you just told
I,
me.
that sounds great. That sounds like a great idea.
And no one's gonna know
Um,
about your shitty headlamps.
no, this is the crazy thing that happened to us today. So I go and I get this
Wait, I need to
tarot
finish
bar
what I was
thing.
talking about.
Oh,
Actually, it
sorry.
doesn't even matter. All I was gonna say is
No,
that's
no.
horrible that you had to do it in front of a crowd. I wrote a whole script and went in a corner in the middle of the building where no one could see or hear me, and I whispered it to the man.
What is it that when you're taking a phone call, you feel like you have to get away from the herd?
Well, first of all, I'm reading the company Amex out loud, so I'm like three
Oh.
seven one two, and I'm like in a museum with like people around me. But I do. I feel like I needed to like get away so no one could hear me being like, I need 30 extra large pepperoni pizzas.
Tonight for me at my house. I'll be alone.
Anyways, sorry, back to
It's
you
all for
and
me.
your farming.
Would you order 30 pizzas? Well, I guess your delivery spot would be the Met, so they wouldn't
I
like
say
because
what
I
I
feel like
order.
if you're ordering
Jeez.
30, like if I was the pizza owner place and someone was like, "Hey, I need 30 pizzas," and it's like, "Ooh, tell me about what's going on. Why do you need those 30 pizzas? I want the details of where my pizzas are going." But if you said like deliver to the Met, one could assume.
Once again, just saying where I work every 2 seconds. Um, yeah, so I had to call the man because here's the thing about this day and age, which I love so much. You can do everything over the phone and like online, but when you plug in the Met, they're like, this isn't a residential address. We can't deliver here.
Oh,
So that's why I had to
yeah,
call him and be like, can you bring it to me? And he was like, oh my God, of course, I love the Met. Anyways,
nice.
yeah, half of that wasn't recording on my microphone, but that's fine, we're back. Um,
This is going to be a doozy of an
this is
episode
the
for
worst
you.
episode we've ever recorded.
No, we say that
Also,
every time.
um, I leave for DC tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to take my computer if we're gonna get this up on Sunday. But we've been so good about getting it up on Sunday that I'm gonna keep doing that. Speaking of pulling
Yes.
our weight, how's getting us on Apple Podcasts going? It's been 2 weeks since we last talked about
I,
it.
I literally haven't even done a Google search yet.
Oh my
That's
God,
the crazy
sister
thing. Is like
Fred, you said it's going to take a
it
couple
is
of weeks.
on
It's
the.
been a couple of weeks. We could have been on the podcast right now.
I know. This is the worst part because then whenever anyone's asking me about the podcast, I'm like, oh, it's only on YouTube from all faults of my own. Because like, why would you say I have a podcast when it's a YouTube?
I know.
Um,
We have a show.
I know it. It's embarrassing. It's a shame. The next time I'm in a field and I have decent Wi-Fi and there's no rocks coming up, I will start doing my Google research. But what I fear is that since you have all of the data, all the information,
I will
you're
get
gonna
that
have
to
to,
you. I will get you the data and information.
and then I'm gonna have to upload it on this horrible internet I have, which is fine. Do we just do we do a batch upload?
I don't
Like do we just
know.
put all, hey, these are all of our old
I
past
don't, this is
episodes?
your responsibility to figure out.
So it's up to my discretion.
If
I can do whatever
you
I want.
tell me, hey, I need you to upload 3 episodes to this place, I can do that. But I need to know how many episodes and to what place.
Okay, it'll be Dropbox because I'm paying $12 a month for Dropbox.
Interesting. I thought I was gonna upload it to like Apple.
Oh, if you can upload it direct, yeah. No, I thought you were like, hey, the ball's in your court. This is,
No, but
I
just
don't,
like
okay.
figuring it out is in your court.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah,
I
no,
don't know if you can.
once again, we have to remember, I'm incredibly
I'm really
stupid.
starting to doubt your capabilities.
Oh my gosh, someone just texted me and they said, do you think it'd be okay to work with this company and this company? And I've
No.
never heard of either company.
Say, oh my
I'm
God,
gonna have
yeah,
to
I
use some.
love them.
Yeah,
Dropbox?
I've had two people. I've talked to two creator people today, and every single time I talk to creators, I'm like, oh, I need to quadruple what I'm charging because I just apparently don't know anything about what I'm
I
doing.
just made our
And it's,
creators a little welcome bag.
ooh, did you say my sister is a farmfluencer? Follow her. You start
Farmfluencer.
your
Is
own
that what you guys call yourselves? Farmfluencers?
influencer. Yeah.
That's so cute.
I mean, I don't know if other people call them that, but
A
that's what I call me.
farmfluencer. No, and we're not allowed calling them influencers, even though I do. We have to call them creators. Um,
Creators, farm, cultivating, create. No, that's dumb. I'm a
Basically, I
farmfluencer.
just like put together a nice little welcome packet, little calendar, little goodie bag, little couple of pins, my business card.
Nice. Did you write on it underneath that Sister Friends podcast? You're like doing your own. You're doing your own self promotion. All
I'm
you
the
should be.
influencer.
That's straight up what I would be
Me
doing.
with my
I would be,
600 followers.
and then I would take all of the emails of everyone who works at the establishment that you work at. Like they have to have an email list, right?
Not
I
you
would hack
saying the
into the system.
establishment like you didn't
I
name drop it 3 times.
I would hack into the mainframe, and I would get that email list, and I would do my own thing. All I know is I wouldn't know how to do any of that because I don't even know what a mainframe is, and I
We
wouldn't know how.
have
I can't even hack my. I can't even get into my own
we have
accounts.
135,000 members, which means I have 135,000 emails at my
I'm
disposal.
just saying one little email that's like,
Oops,
hey,
right at the bottom.
hey,
Farmer
oh.
Zoe. Let's see how quickly I can lose my job.
Oh, immediately. But
It's
then,
funny
okay, so
that
that
we've just learned today that the oops emails are like our most engaged with emails. Like if you put oops, like we made a mistake in a subject line,
yeah,
you get like
yeah, because
90%
people want
open
to.
rate.
Dude, 100%. It makes so. I've watched some of those videos that's like, this is how you hook an audience. This is what you do, and I never take those things into account because like, it feels weird. And I don't like when other people do it, but then it does hook me in. You know what I mean? Like I always fall for the clickbait of it all.
Yeah.
But that's so interesting. But like also, if you like, once a week, we're like, oops, we messed up. We love blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's funny.
My favorite thing is when Lululemon, which like I only shop their sales, but their clearance is always like, "Oops, we made too much,"
Oh, I
and it's
know.
like
And it's so
it's
ugly.
the ugliest stuff you've ever seen. You're like, yeah, of course that didn't sell.
Yeah, it's like
Why would
the most hideous
yeah
hot pink pattern leggings, and you're like, yeah, I bet you didn't make too much. You should have made any
yeah?
to begin with.
I bet you sold none of
I
those.
was just shopping Lululemon sales, and I was like, I really want this jacket, but I really need to stop spending every cent I have.
I saw a video today that said like if you make a superfluous purchase of $37 a day, that adds up to $10,000 a year. And I'm not making $35
Oh
purchases a
yeah.
day, but but like every once in a while I'll do a reckless $200 clothing haul, and I'm like, well, like if 40 bucks every day adds up to this, I'm like, I don't know. I don't like the idea of compounding,
Discover will do a pie chart of your spending, which
Yeah.
is horrifying.
Mine's always eating out. It's like
Oh, my
90% of my
eating
bill
out
is
is like
eating
less than
out.
1%. It's like groceries, 5%. Eating out, 1%. Clothing and other miscellaneous, 98%.
I did get one that was like 99% one time, was like household things, because it was the month that we bought all of the rock for our landscaping,
Mm.
and it was like way more than I normally spend on anything, and it was like 90% of
It's bad
your
because I'm
monies went to
justifying all
rocks.
of these, like all of these expenses on my Amex because I'm going to use my Amex points to then buy my flights for your
Mhm.
wedding. And also, I'm supposed to go to Vegas in July. And so I'm like, it's fine. I'm going to use these points anyways. It's going to be like
Yeah, because
free.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So hypothetical question. If you were to lose your job from hacking the mainframe and getting the emails, uh, and they're like tomorrow, they're like, Kenzie, you're out. Would you would you be like, I keep wanting to say lease. Would you ever do a 1 year sabbatical to Kent Family Farms?
Oh, I I think if I lost my job tomorrow, I would break my lease and move home. 100%. I want to move home not because of you or working at Kent Family Farms. but only to hang out with our parents. Um, I have like a crippling guilt that I'm spending so many years away from them and like the years I'll never be able to get back with our parents. And
Hmm.
like only getting to see dad like 2 times a year, that is incredibly upsetting to me. And so if I didn't
Hmm.
absolutely like the problem is that I love my job. And so yeah, if I lost my job, I'd 100% move home. I don't know if I necessarily
Interesting.
want to work at Family Farms. I would probably, I think what I would seriously do is break my lease and move home. Probably live in the garage until we can kick out the neighbors. I'm just kidding. They seem really nice. I wouldn't want to kick them out.
I know they are really good
I would
renters
I
too.
would
Just
move in. Mom and dad have like a detached finished garage that I'd move into. Then I'd probably try to help you with content creating while also trying to find a job that more
better
better
suits your needs.
aligns with
Yeah,
yeah,
because I was just like, I for the next couple of weeks will be spending way too much time alone with my thoughts, and I was like,
terrifying.
well, my my really morbid question was going to be like, okay, say our parents die tomorrow, would you move home to help me on the farm? Um, but
I
the
think
fact,
if both of our parents die in a tragic car accident, this is horrible. Also because the only people that listen to our podcast are our parents. I think if you very seriously were like, I'm gonna die unless you can come home and help me, I
Mhm,
would consider it.
cool,
I would. I
good to
would
know.
consider it because I do think like in the grand scheme of life, family is more important than jobs and whatever. But
You heard it here, first, folks.
but like I don't know if I'd feel comfortable. Like unless you could be like, "Hey, Kenzie, I will pay you $58,000 a year to be a content creator and work full time on Kent Family Farms." I don't think I'd be able to just like move home.
Yeah, I can't cash flow that yet, so that offer is not on the
I
table.
guess like I
Um,
could adjust it for like cost of living. I guess if I have like free
y-
rent, then I could work for like 30K. I don't know.
okay, I could, if we ramp up my post times 4,000. Hey, Frebby, I know you were attacked, but you can't attack this chair. Um, Interesting. Yeah, no, I feel like obviously I don't need you full time all the time because you're not a
Hmm.
mechanic. But I'm
That's
like
the thing is
I
I
could
could
have like
only do content creating, book work, and like simple tasks on the farm.
you wouldn't believe how much I don't know how to
Like I
do on
think
the
I could do
farm
like the
too.
auto
But
steer situation and like
oh yeah.
I can pull the semi forward, but like if I have to like I can't open a headland. Like I mean I don't know how to load seed into the planter. Like there's definitely things I
Yeah,
couldn't do. You know what I
yeah.
can do? I can call and order pizza.
That would be incredibly helpful. Like if I could just have you like be the I need a housewife. See, this is the thing. Like there was this whole movement like a year ago that was like all these women's were like women's people were like doing like, oh, I'm delivering field meals like to the
Oh
field, like,
yeah.
and then also being like being a farm wife so hard because you're home with the kids and you have to like do all these things and also help with the farm. And then some like women who are farmers were like, I want a farm wife, and then that offended the farm wives somehow. And so
I could
apparently you can't
absolutely
say
deliver
that.
you food. I would love to cook
But
you meals and bring them to you.
yeah, and but like I do feel like honestly like I could have a year's worth of like, hey, figure all of my things out, figure out how to get this podcast on Apple Podcasts. No, just because I'm spread too thin at the moment
Well,
and
and
I'm
other
doing
things I'm great at.
90
Let this turn
things
into a job
not
interview.
good.
I'm wonderful at scheduling events, not events. I mean, I am scheduling events, but scheduling appointments and planning like short-term versus long-term goals. And I can get your hair appointment on the calendar. I can get your dentist appointment. I can make sure you don't go to the scariest dentist in Ohio.
It's the worst
Speaking
decision.
of, I have a dentist
Yeah.
appointment on Monday. There's like that's
Oh,
where
good for you.
my talents really lie, or like,
Which is that's why I'm like we would be the best business partners because none of my talents lie there.
but don't you think our friendship would be at risk? working together every day?
No. Dad and I scream at each other all the time.
I don't know if I
No,
want that.
I'm
Um,
just kidding. No, no. We only had one. We had a screamer the other week. It was it was just because I didn't understand because it was the urea slash AMS and I wasn't understanding it. I said
gonorrhea.
I'm gonna text him. And Dad said, no, just call him because then you'll get a hold of him right away. But well, we can write it down. I said, no, I want to text him because then if he has other questions for me, I'm not going to know the answers and I don't want to look dumb. So I'd rather drag this whole process out so that I can read you the text and be like, how do I respond?
That's another thing. I'm not afraid to look
And he,
dumb. I would call him, I'd ask the question, and then he asked me a question. I'd be like, I'm gonna have to get back to you because I'm stupid. I have a master's degree in
well,
museum studies.
we have someone that we know that she's now working at a business. She's working at a place that we do business with, and she's answered the phone like 3 times, and every time she just says, I'm not sure about that. Can I give you a call back? And then she calls me back in 3 minutes because she just like ran over to the other
Yeah.
office, like she's still onboarding, asked someone, and then comes back and gets on the phone with me. But she's not like, because I've worked with some people that like I'm not sure that they have the right answer, and
Yeah.
I'd rather them like get the right answer and then tell me
Oh,
rather
100%. I
rather
I'm
than
I'm
get it wrong.
completely of the belief if you don't know the right answer, say you don't know and that you'll figure it out. I'm also of the belief that if you make a mistake, you need to say, "Hey, I made a mistake," and not try to cover it up. I think
Yeah.
those are like two non-negotiables in like my work environment. I'm
Hmm.
like not willing. I have no patience for someone that made a mistake and is deceitful about it. I make
I was
mistakes all the
emailing with,
time, and it's so much
yeah.
easier to be like, "Hey, I messed up," than
Yeah, it was really
to
interesting.
blame
I
it,
was I
whatever.
was emailing with someone a couple of days ago and I was like, "Hey, basically I needed to pull out an event that like I hadn't signed a contract for. I was just like, can't do it because someone
Hmm.
else booked me." And they were like, "Oh, but we were gonna like, but we had already confirmed this thing with you." And I was like, "Well, no, because this other person on your team emailed me yesterday saying this."
Hmm.
And so then she said, this was my prior email that I sent you and like highlighted stuff. And so then I sent her a screenshot of my email being like, well,
Hmm.
this is what I heard last. And she was very much like, oh, interesting. Me and my coworker are not on the same page. Which I just like, I appreciate because like I felt like she was like coming at me, which you
Yeah,
can never read someone's tone in an email. And so she was probably just like trying to be straightforward and like, this is
yeah,
what I know. And then I had to be like, well, I also know a thing or
yeah. No,
two.
I just very appreciate the transparency of being like, "Oh, actually, I didn't know that. Good to know."
And like I think if it had been 2 years ago and I was like doing these emails, I would have been like crying, screaming, throwing up because I
Yeah,
hate emailing with people. But now that I'm like forced to email 4 to 5 times a week,
yeah.
I'm getting so much more used to email practices.
Hmm. That's another thing I would be great at. I could handle all of your correspondence.
Oh, I hate an email. Oh, emails are the
I
worst.
have to do all of our budgeting for our team, so I actually feel like we don't use like QuickBooks, like I do everything in spreadsheets, but I feel like I've gotten really good at budgeting. Not for me personally,
Yeah,
obviously.
this is the thing that I fear is then you would show me my projections and my budgeting things, and you would be like, "Oh, Zoe, you're," and I'd rather bury my head in the sand.
I like living in a state of delusion.
I I am.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
do. I have dreams about moving back to Ohio. Um, Couple issues with it. One, I feel like I got a master's degree and I would feel dumb not working in that field. Although,
Yeah,
with that
sunk
said,
cost
like
fallacy.
life is short. Exactly. Like whatever. I also just like really like my job. If I didn't like my job, I would really reconsider what I was
Yeah,
doing.
it's a shame you can't do your job.
I know.
Yeah,
There's a historical home in Zoe's town.
which literally we're like the heirs to the throne.
I
So like, I
know.
feel like
I
by like a
actually
legacy
honestly, I
thing.
feel like if I moved home, I had like a house to live in and I worked for you and I could like work at that historical home, even like volunteering part-time, I feel like that would fulfill me in the way working in a museum is important to me. But also
Yeah,
like,
you could get Kent Family Farms Museum up and running because we have a lot of old stuff laying
well,
around.
during COVID, I told you I was gonna come and archive all of your things, and then I didn't
Hmm.
because COVID and depression. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like doing like little placards for all of your seats and just I think yeah, digitizing. You have like
Is there is there
cabinets
s- is there
of
such a
things.
thing as a sabbatical or like a I need to take 6 weeks off?
Um, no, but I could fake maternity leave. I could
Has anyone ever done
I
that?
could pull
Because
a
it's
lady
not like when
from
you're like
Glee.
it's not like when you're like, hey, I'm going on maternity leave. Like anyone,
Yeah, I could
like
be like,
if it
I
was COVID
adopted a
times,
baby. I'm allowed to take maternity leave if I adopted a baby.
yeah. I wonder if you have to like do any proof or if that's like HIPAA. You know,
Yeah, I have
you don't
no
need to know if
idea.
I had a baby or not.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Sabbaticals. I know that's definitely a thing in education and academia, and it is a thing
Hmm.
curators will take. They'll like take a sabbatical and go do research and wherever. I don't think it's necessarily a thing for like event planners. I think
I
it
need
would
to
just be
take it.
called like time away or a gap in your resume.
Yeah, I guess you could. I guess you could like literally like, okay, if you knew you were gonna move, like say hypothetically, and it was like, okay, we have to move to this place for my job, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'm working at this job until this date. You could just be like, I'll just quit my job 6 weeks early, come back to the farm for 6 weeks, and then do my new life.
Oh,
Interesting. If you ever,
you think I can change your life in 6 weeks?
I honestly think you could change my life in about
That's like a
1 week.
course. I'd be like, change your life in 6 weeks. I could like sell that
Oh
online
my
for
God.
$9.99.
There's actually a lot of ad companies that are like, we'll revamp your things. I get a lot of emails
Yeah, I
from
think
those
what I would
people.
do is I would come help you digitize all your records because it's terrifying that they're just sitting in a cabinet. I would help get you a better sense of organization, maybe a better functioning calendar feature.
Systems.
Maybe I get you a CRM, get you up and running.
What's that?
It's like a software to use
Oh,
primarily for ticketing. It doesn't really apply to you, but
I don't think I need.
think think quickens. Um,
Okay. Okay.
anyways, in terms of that, I know I'm not gonna live in New York forever.
Hmm.
Eddie and I have agreements on like what we're willing to do. Like he's making the sacrifice to leave DC and he's coming to New York. We'll probably be here for a few years, and then I think we're gonna go to Vegas.
Which just is like so fun.
Just so random.
It's the
And
best place to raise a family.
I like literally never considered Vegas once in my entire life. And Eddie is the biggest Vegas fan. Like, and he wants to like work in Vegas government and like he wants to be the king of Vegas. And I'm just